We have a Butler County. We is in Butler County. We got a Butler County pastor. We got us one. Butler County pastor who is charged with molestation. I think it's molestation and or grape of two young girls out here in these streets. Shout out to Ryan Sean for the $1 cash app. You say they just shy. Let me back up because I was trying to get I was trying to read that. You say studs like meat too. They just shy. That's what Ryan Sean was trying to say. I appreciate that right there, the correction, because I just had to leave it alone because I couldn't get it. You know what I'm saying? We got a pastor. We're gonna call this one. Here we go.
A pastor now behind bars, police saying he had inappropriate sexual contact with several victims, including children, and one of the victims, an adult, inside of his church.
I'm a little shocked by it, for the child aspect of it, not the congregation member, but the child aspect of it.
A little shocked to find out a pastor who preaches just down the street from John McClure is accused of having inappropriate sexual contact with two young girls and a member of his congregation. Police say 67-year-old Herman Rushing Jr., the pastor of By His Grace Christian Ministries in the city of Butler, began touching a 10-year-old girl in 2020 and continued to do so over the course of the last 3 years. Her parents reported the incidents to state police in October after the girl told them what was happening. During that time, police say another girl who was 15 years old at the time told police Rushing also had inappropriate sexual contact with her. Troopers say in addition to these incidents, Rushing is also being charged with inappropriate sexual contact with a woman inside his congregation who was a member of the ministry.
I was actually taken back, quite saddened by it, to be honest with you. With what's plaguing Butler County, with all these scandals and stuff of people taking advantage of their positions, it's sad to see where society's heading.
And Rushing is facing a long list of charges, including indecent assault and endangering the welfare of children. From Butler, Tori Orgy, Pittsburgh's Action News. Police say 67-year-old Herman Rushing Jr.
Herman, say he like him a little young. Say he old minor attractive person.
Pastor of By His Grace Christian Ministries in the city of Butler began touching a 10-year-old girl in 2020.
He was preying on people, literally,
and continued to do so over the course of the last 3 years. Her parents reported the incidents to state police in October after the girl told them what was happening. During that time, police say another girl who was 15 years old at the time told police Rushing also had inappropriate sexual contact with her. Troopers say in addition to these incidents, Rushing is also being charged with inappropriate sexual contact with a woman inside his congregation who was a member of the ministry.
I was actually taken back,
a woman who was a member of the ministry, but they did not give us the time frame of that woman because it said the woman, so the woman is not a minor. But they're not going to tell us when that right there happened because I'm going to make a point.
Saddened by it, to be honest with you. With what's plaguing Butler County, with all these scandals and stuff of people taking advantage of their positions, it's sad to see where society's heading.
And Rushing is facing a long list of charges, including indecent assault and endangering the welfare of children. From Butler, Tori Orgy, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Sometimes we got to get them from behind the pulpit. Sometimes we got to get them from behind the pulpit. Now, I got a good question for us. I got a good question for my religious brothers and sisters. For those people who went to the church, they do believe that he was called by God. I promise you, they do believe that he was ordained by the Lord. He was called into the house to preach the word because he is one of the best preachers out in the community. Typically, when we go to these churches, we do believe that this pastor is the best pastor and the Lord is speaking directly through them. We got to ask ourselves, so now, should we say that he wasn't called by the Lord? Or nope, let me restate that right there. Can they still say that he was called by the Lord? Because I'm pretty sure that they believe that he was called by the Lord. He probably have preached sermons that the Lord has called him to do a job, and the job has been real, real hard, but he has been following what the Lord told him to do out here in these streets. Hmm? Hmm. See, because in my mind, if you once believed that he was called by the Lord before these accusations happened, then I think that you should also believe that he was called by the Lord in order to do these actions. I know what your next question is going to be, but the Lord wouldn't put somebody in place to be doing this stuff to children? Really? I hope that's not what you're thinking. According to your book, you'll be absolutely incorrect. Your book further lets me know that the Lord will put people in position to do some of the worst things to people. I'm just asking because people will start to say, man, he wasn't called by God to do stuff. How do you know when God has called people to murder? The 334 to Gump Monkey Town that made on up in here. I appreciate that right there. Huh? Maybe he was created to do exactly what they saying that he had done did. Maybe. You say, I hope he goes to general population. Doggone shame. You say, the first time I hated God, I never looked back. You say that's the devil all day. You say he was listening to the devil. But what if he was listening to God? What if God had done told him to do what they say he had done did? Who is us to say that God would not tell him to do what they said that he had done did? I'm just saying this because we really don't think the other way, and a lot of us do think that God was all good. And that further lets me know that you have not read that book. You really just have not read the book. If that's your belief system. Because it also said God can be vengeful, so that's not a good thing, is it? No, it's not a good thing. You say he was listening to God, not the devil. Don't blame the devil. And why we always be trying to put the bad, what we perceive as bad, on the devil? Why? Why do we do that? A good entity or person can have you do something bad, right? Can ask you to do something bad or have you to do something bad. Yeah. Free will was given though, but what if he was told to? He still had the free will to do it, right? But we can't say what God done told somebody to do and what not to do. We can't say that right now. Because people say that God told me to do stuff a whole bunch of times. God told him to put them holy hands on them kids, and he did what God told him to do. You see what I'm saying? It's possible is all I'm saying. But I do understand how we was raised, how we was taught, how we was, what is that other word, to where people trying to control your mindset and all that I'm doing around here is to stop that one way thinking. Because this is what have us in situations because we only think one way. Yeah, indoctrination was the word that I was trying to use and find, but it wouldn't work. I had that dope in me just then. But yep, influence, yeah. We typically think one way. And that's one of our biggest problems. Move right along, I ain't gonna eat much hold you.